Okay, picture this. You walk into a cafe. It smells amazing. The music is soft. The lighting is perfect. You walk up to the counter and you are ready to order. And then, nothing. Your brain just goes completely blank. The person behind the counter is looking at you. You're looking at them. And you say, coffee, please? Because you forgot every single word you ever learned.
That was me, last Tuesday. I stood there for a full 30 seconds, and I just pointed at the menu, like a confused tourist.
And that is exactly why we are here today. Because speaking English in real life, in cafes, with friends, in everyday moments, that is where the real learning happens. And that is exactly what we are going to do right now. I am Filza, and as always, I am joined by my wonderfully chaotic co-host, Daniel.
Chaotic is a strong word. I prefer spontaneous.
You forgot your coffee on the way in today.
That is deeply spontaneous behavior, yes.
Welcome, everyone, to Speak English with Filza, a podcast made for anyone who wants to learn real, natural, everyday English. Not textbook English, not robotic English, real English, the kind people actually use.
The kind you hear in cafes, in conversations with friends, at work, on the street, that kind.
And this is so important because a lot of English learners study for years. They know grammar rules, they can pass tests, but then someone asks them a simple question in English, and suddenly the words disappear.
The brain just goes offline.
Exactly. And that is not your fault. It just means you need more listening practice, more exposure to real conversations. That is what this podcast is for.
Every episode, we talk naturally, the way real, native, and fluent speakers talk. And along the way, we teach you vocabulary, phrases, and expressions that you can actually use in your daily life.
No heavy grammar lectures, no pressure. You don't have to take notes if you don't want to. You can just listen. Let the English flow into your ears. Let it feel normal and familiar.
Because the more natural English feels to you, the easier it becomes to speak it.
And today's topic is one of my absolute favorites. We are talking about coffee, coffee culture, cafe life, and all the beautiful everyday English conversations that happen around a warm cup.
10 vocabulary words, real phrases, natural conversation, and probably a few embarrassing stories from me.
Definitely a few embarrassing stories from Daniel. So get comfortable. Grab something warm to drink if you like, and let's begin.
And if you're watching this in a cafe right now, we love that for you. You are living the episode.
You really are. Okay, Daniel, real question. When you walk into a big fancy cafe, the kind with the long menu on the wall, do you actually know what everything means?
Filza, I'm going to be very honest with you. I do not. I really do not. Half the time, I just look for the longest name on the menu and assume it tastes the best.
That is not a strategy.
It is absolutely a strategy. It does not always work, but it is a strategy.
Okay, so this is something a lot of our listeners actually feel. You walk into a cafe and the menu is just intimidating. That's one of our words today. Intimidating.
Oh, intimidating. Yes, that menu was very intimidating.
So intimidating means something feels scary or overwhelming. Not dangerous, just a little too much. Like it makes you nervous.
Like when the barista says, "Would you like that as a flat white, a cortado, or a long black?" And you just stare at them and say, yes.
Yes to which one?
Yes to coffee. I want the coffee. I do not know which one.
This is why people just say, "A medium coffee, please," and walk away quickly.
Honestly, underrated move.
But here's the thing. You can also just be honest. You can say, "Sorry, can you explain the difference?" Or, "What do you recommend?" People actually love that.
Really?
Baristas love talking about coffee. It's like asking a chef about their food. Their whole face lights up.
Okay, that is actually a really helpful tip. I feel less intimidated now.
See? Less intimidating already.
Can I ask you something, Filza?
Of course.
Are you a simple coffee person or a fancy Percy person?
Oh, good question. I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I like a nice latte. I like when the milk is foamy and warm, but I'm not ordering anything that takes 10 minutes to describe.
See, I respect that. I am a simple coffee person. Black coffee. Done. Every time.
Every time?
Every single time. Except on Fridays.
What happens on Fridays?
On Fridays, I get the big caramel thing with the cream on top, and I pretend I deserve it.
You do deserve it, Daniel.
I know. That's why I get it every Friday.
So there are really two types of coffee people, right? There are people who treat coffee as fuel, just something to wake them up. And then there are people who treat coffee as an experience, as something beautiful.
And then there's a third type.
Which is?
The people who say they don't drink coffee, but then drink 3 cups of tea a day and pretend that's different.
That is an entire personality type.
A very defensive personality type.
Okay, so here's something I genuinely love about cafes. It's not even just the coffee, it's the feel of the place, the atmosphere.
Oh yes, the ambiance.
Ambiance. That's our next word. Ambiance means the overall feeling or atmosphere of a place, the mood it creates.
Like, some cafes have this warm, cozy ambiance. Soft lights, wooden furniture, a little plant in the corner.
And you just walk in and immediately your shoulders drop and you think, okay, I am safe here.
Exactly. Versus cafes that are very bright and loud and feel like you're eating lunch inside a spreadsheet.
That is a very specific description.
I've been to that cafe. It was stressful.
I think for a lot of us, the ambiance of a cafe really matters, especially if you're going there to study, to work, or just to sit quietly for a while.
There's actually research that says people are more creative in slightly noisy environments, like the gentle noise of a cafe.
That's true. The background sounds, the coffee machine, the soft music, the quiet conversations. It's almost like a comfort blanket for your brain.
A cozy, caffeinated comfort blanket.
Cozy. That's another word we're using today. Cozy means warm, comfortable, and safe feeling. Like a hug, but for a room.
I want to live in a cozy place permanently.
Same, Daniel. Same. So let's talk about morning routines. Because coffee is such a big part of how people start their day.
Do you have a coffee ritual, Filza?
Ritual. Oh, that's one of our vocabulary words. A ritual is something you do regularly, in a specific way. It's more than just a habit. It has meaning to you.
Like making your coffee the exact same way every morning. Same cup, same temperature, same amount of milk.
Exactly. My ritual is very simple, actually. I wake up, I make my coffee before I check my phone, and I sit by the window for 10 minutes before the day begins.
That sounds genuinely beautiful.
It's my favorite part of the day, honestly. It's those 10 minutes where nothing is urgent yet. Nothing has gone wrong yet. It's just me and the coffee and the quiet.
Okay, my morning ritual is less poetic. I wake up, I think about coffee, I think about how I don't want to get up. I think about coffee again. Eventually, the coffee wins.
The coffee always wins.
Always. Coffee, 1. Bed, 0.
But I think a lot of people feel that, right? The morning coffee isn't just about caffeine. It's the first small thing you do for yourself every day. It's comforting.
Comforting, yes. It feels familiar and safe. Like, everything might go wrong today, but this cup of coffee is exactly what I expected.
That is so well said. Comforting means something that makes you feel better, warm, less worried, like things are going to be okay.
Can we talk about something that is very real and slightly embarrassing?
Always.
I go to cafes to be productive. I sit down, I open my laptop, I buy my coffee, and then I spend 40 minutes rearranging my tabs.
Tab rearranging is very important work.
It feels productive. It really does. And then I buy another coffee because the first one finished, and now I need something to justify still sitting here.
Indulgence.
What?
That's the word. Indulgence. When you treat yourself to something that's a little extra, a little unnecessary, but it makes you happy.
The second coffee is an indulgence.
Exactly. It's not about needing it, it's about wanting it. It's a small treat, a small reward.
Honestly, the coffee shop is full of indulgences. The fancy cake, the extra shot of caramel, the large size when you only needed medium.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Life is stressful. Sometimes a nice coffee is the one small thing that makes the afternoon feel manageable.
Pick me up.
Yes, pick me up. That's such a common English phrase. A pick me up is something that gives you energy or makes you feel better when you're tired or feeling low.
I need a pick me up. That's something you'd say around 3 in the afternoon.
The 3 o'clock feeling is very real.
So real. You've eaten lunch, you think you're ready to work, and then your whole body just says, no, not today.
That's the caffeine crash.
Oh, the caffeine crash. That horrible moment when the coffee stops working.
Caffeine crash means the tired, low feeling you get after the energy from caffeine wears off. And it always happens at the worst time.
Always. Never when you're already resting. Always when you have 3 more things to do.
Okay, let's talk about something I really love. Meeting a friend for coffee.
Oh, that's such a good feeling.
You know when you haven't seen someone for a while and you say, let's catch up over coffee?
Catch up. Yes, to catch up means to share news, to tell each other what's been happening in your lives, like filling in the gaps since the last time you spoke.
We need to catch up is one of the most natural, everyday English phrases. You hear it all the time.
And there's something about a cafe that makes conversation easier, right? It's like the setting just relaxes you.
Definitely. You're not sitting across from someone in a formal way. You've both got something warm in your hands. The noise around you is soft. It feels safe to talk.
You can unwind.
Unwind. Yes. To unwind means to relax, to let go of tension, to stop being switched on.
Like your brain finally stops running a million things at once.
Exactly. And a cafe with a good friend is one of the best places to unwind.
Can I tell you something that happened to me, actually? I met an old friend recently, someone I hadn't seen in maybe 2 years, and we sat in this small cafe for 3 hours.
3 hours?
3 hours, 2 coffees each, and at no point did it feel like 3 hours. We just talked and talked.
That's the magic of catching up. There's always so much to say.
And by the end, we both ordered cake because we felt like we'd earned it.
You absolutely earned it.
We did. The cake was excellent.
See, this is what English conversations in cafes actually sound like. It's not always about deep topics or perfect grammar. It's just sharing, laughing, being present with someone.
And using phrases like, oh, tell me more about that, and no way, really? And I completely understand that.
Such natural phrases. That's so true. Honestly, same. Wait, why is that actually accurate?
Wait, why is that actually accurate? I say that all the time.
Me too. I want to talk about something before we wrap up. And it's something I think a lot of people feel, but don't really say out loud.
Go for it.
Sometimes you've had a really hard day. Not a dramatic, everything collapsed kind of hard. Just a long, draining day. And you stop at a cafe on the way home. Not because you need the coffee, but because you just need that moment.
Oh, yes, that is so true.
You sit down, you hold the warm cup, and for 10 minutes, you just exist. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anywhere. You just are.
Honestly, I've done that, and it's one of the most comforting things you can do for yourself.
It's a small act of kindness toward yourself.
And if someone sees you sitting alone in a cafe and thinks you look a little sad, you're not sad. You're healing.
Beautifully said.
Thank you. I have my moments.
So the cafe becomes this little space where you can unwind, where you can breathe, where you can be a person again after a day of being busy and productive and responsible.
That is why cafes will never go away, no matter what technology does. No matter how convenient it becomes to make coffee at home, people will always need a place like that.
A cozy place with good ambiance.
And indulgent pastries.
Always. Okay, let's do a little recap before we go. Today we talked about coffee, cafes, everyday conversations, And we learned some really useful English words along the way.
Intimidating, when something feels a little scary or overwhelming.
Ambiance, the atmosphere and feeling of a place.
Ritual, something you do regularly that has meaning to you.
Comforting, something that makes you feel safe and at ease.
Indulgence, a small treat you give yourself.
Pick-me-up, something that lifts your energy or mood.
Caffeine crash, that tired feeling when coffee stops working.
Catch up, to share news and reconnect with someone.
Unwind, to relax and let go of the day.
And cozy, warm, comfortable, safe. Like this podcast, hopefully.
Hopefully, we try.
Before we go, we have a question for you, and we would love to hear your answer in the comments.
Are you a simple coffee person? Black, no fuss? Or a fancy coffee person? The long name, the cream on top, the whole experience.
Tell us. We genuinely want to know.
And if you're a tea person who got offended by this whole episode, we see you. We respect you.
We do. We genuinely do.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
It means so much, truly. Whether you listened from your bed, your kitchen, your commute, or a cafe, thank you for being here.
Keep listening to English every day, even 10 minutes, even one podcast episode. It adds up. It really does.
Until next time, take care of yourselves, drink something warm, and keep speaking.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.